The phone rang, but my number was disconnected years ago. It was a quiet evening, the kind that hums softly with the sound of nothing. I had just settled into my couch, scrolling aimlessly through channels, when my old landline rang. The sound startled me. It had been years since that phone ever made a noise. I almost forgot it still existed. The thing is, that number had been disconnected. Officially. I had canceled it 3 years ago after moving out of my old apartment. So, when it rang again, sharp and deliberate, my first reaction was confusion. My second was fear. I picked up the receiver slowly, half expecting it to be static or some kind of glitch. But when I lifted it, I heard breathing. Shaky, faint breathing on the other end. "Hello," I said, my voice unsteady. For a few seconds, there was only silence. Then a whisper. Faint, almost breaking apart with distance. "Why did you leave me here?" My heart sank. The voice was familiar. Too familiar. It sounded like Mara, my ex-fiancée, the one who died in that car accident 5 years ago. My first instinct was denial. It couldn't be her. I told myself it was a cruel prank, a recording, or maybe someone with a twisted sense of humor. But the voice trembled in that same, fragile way she did whenever she cried. "Mara?" I whispered. "Who is this?" The breathing quickened. "You said you'd never let me go." I froze. The line crackled softly, and underneath it, I could hear faint echoes, like distant traffic, a car engine, then a sudden crash. My blood ran cold. I yanked the phone cord from the wall, my chest tightening. The ringing stopped instantly. The silence that followed was thick and suffocating. I sat there for a long time, the receiver still in my hand, my mind trying to reason its way out of what just happened. That night, I barely slept. Every creak in the house sounded like a call waiting to start again. I convinced myself it was a hallucination, grief surfacing after years of pretending I'd moved on. The next morning, curiosity got the better of me. I called the phone company, pretending I was thinking of reactivating the old number. The agent put me on hold for a while, then came back sounding confused. "Sir," she said, "that number has been active for the past 3 years. Someone's been paying the bill." I felt my stomach drop. "Who?" I asked. She hesitated. "The account is under a name. Mara Jennings." I hung up. The air in my living room felt suddenly colder. I sat staring at the disconnected landline, its coiled wire like a snake on the table. That evening, I went to my old apartment, the one Mara and I shared before everything went wrong. The building was half abandoned now, walls cracked, the air smelling of dust and memories. I climbed the stairs to our old door. Apartment 4B. The number plate was missing, the paint peeling. I knocked once, even though I knew no one would answer. But then inside, I heard it. The faint ring of a phone. Not my cell. Not any modern tone. It was that same old ringtone from years ago, muffled but unmistakable. I reached for the knob. It turned. The door creaked open. Inside, the apartment was empty, stripped bare. But on the floor in the center of the room sat a single rotary phone. My old landline. It rang again, slow and steady, echoing against the walls. I stepped closer, my hand trembling. When I finally picked it up, her voice came through, soft and broken. "You said forever." And then the line went dead. That was 2 days ago. The phone hasn't rung again. But sometimes, when the house goes quiet at night, I still hear it, faintly, somewhere in the walls.